Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today on Bold Build. Thank you all for taking some time out of your busy schedules to join us. Today we're going to be talking about Bold Build, specifically about how to manage your roofing company, pretty much end to end. So we're going to be covering a lot today, and hopefully it won't be too overwhelming. And one thing I do want you guys to understand going into this, it is an application that can be broken up into bits. So if there are certain aspects that you like to see that maybe you can adopt into your business, then we would love to talk to you and just think of any kind of gap that you have currently and how maybe you can utilize Bold Build to fill those gaps. So without further ado, let's jump into it. A little bit about us. We are based out of Carlsbad, California. My name is Nick. I'm the sales manager here at Alpha Bold. I'm going to be kind of running the back end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please feel free to enter them into the questions box. I'll try to answer them as best as possible throughout the webinar. We're also joined by Tayeb Ali. He's our VP of Consulting over here. He's going to be running through most of the deck and then spend a lot of time in demos, so that way you guys can get a full picture of what we have to offer. And then we are also joined by Mahmoud Sanash. He's kind of the brains behind Bold Build. And so if there's any technical questions I can't answer, I'm going to rely on him or Tayeb to field those. So next slide, please. So what we're going to be looking at today, just real briefly, we're going to look at some of the challenges that are faced by roofing companies, or at least what we've experienced. We'll look at what Bold Build actually is, and then we're just going to kind of jump straight into a demo and showcase quite a few features for you without trying to overload you as much as possible. We'll jump back out, showcase what benefits you can see, answer some questions, and then go into kind of the pricing structure that we have for Bold Build, and then kind of take it from there as far as what next steps we can offer you guys. So next slide. Yeah. So again, this is kind of what the path we're going to be taking through the webinar. And this is where I'm going to hand it off to Tayeb to take over from here. But again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to enter those in that questions box. All right, Tayeb, all yours.
Thank you so much, Nick. Hi, everyone. So you can see we'll talk about the challenges. This icon and this person climbing up these steps probably is a representative of some of our audience, and hopefully we can resolve it through Bold Build. Then we'll go into a demo. We'll talk about the benefits after the demonstration, the Q&A, and what's next. In the demo, because there are so many different roles, so we have tried to break it down where instead of me being everybody and switching between different applications, we have certain videos that we are going to show you of people mostly on the field as to how they can use aspects of Bold Build. But we'll talk about that as we get to that. So with that, I'm going to first of all talk about the challenges. So here you can see some of the challenges that are faced by roofing companies. We have had a lot of conversations, discussions with roofing companies, and we are very familiar with the challenges that you have. The first one talks about doc management. So 78% of executives complained about lack of visibility into that, not knowing where the documents are. It also includes the capability to be able to take pictures, either when you are on site and doing a task or just when we're doing a site visit. So Bold Build addresses that, and we feel that it can reduce forecasting based on all of these issues by 30% and having insights into all these documents. Collaboration is the second biggest issue that we highlight here, because 60% of project owners complain about that. And the reason for that is, again, the distributed nature. You usually have the back office folks, then you have schedulers, then you have estimators, then you have field technicians, dispatchers, and all of them need to be kept in the loop. And that loop is on two fronts. It's on the projects that you execute, and then also on the ongoing service requests. So there's a servicing piece, and then there's a project execution piece. And Bold Build kind of enhances coordination by 40% across both. And I'll be demonstrating a lot of these to you. So remember these numbers, and hopefully, as you see in the demo how easy it is to attain these things or do these things, you'll be able to relate to these efficiencies as well. The third one is project management. Of course, it's the core of executing any project. And the biggest challenge is that there are lots of non-productive activities like searching for information, uh, figuring out the most efficient way of communicating with people on the field. That results into rework as well, and we claim that Bold Build reduces that by 25%. The fourth one is just project execution. It's different from project management because project management is more about task creation and task assignment versus project execution is everything you're doing in pre-production, everything you're doing in production, your closeout checklist that you have for the project. So you can see that 77% of the projects, they run over by 40% or more. And Bold Build is one integrated system. So we have all of these phases combined into one platform. And that helps with smooth execution of the projects onto the service side as well. So we start from marketing and sales, then we go into estimation and bidding, then we go into pre-production, production, and closeout, and then into services. And hopefully, the way I've structured this demonstration, you'll be able to see each aspect of it and be able to relate to that. And there's a huge emphasis on UI and user experience because that's obviously a challenge as well. Some of the users might not be that tech savvy, so it helps with that too. So we feel that the integrated nature of Bold Build helps with the project execution. And last but not least, the sales and estimation. So 29% of the firms, they're putting a lot more than is required in just getting the estimations out and getting it signed. So what Bold Build does, it automates the whole bidding, estimation, proposal generation on single click so that those could be electronically signed when your estimators are out there doing site inspection and getting the roof installation estimates ready so that those could be deployed as well. So these are kind of the challenges that I'll be covering in the demonstration. I'll be showcasing different modules that address these challenges. In terms of the phases that we would cover, so just like I mentioned, we'll start with sales and marketing because that's when the journey for your customers start. So first of all, I'll showcase to you that as a roofing company, and by the way, the roofing company we are using for this demo is Bold Roofing. It's a Bold company, so it is amazing at roofing. And that company has some marketing campaigns. They reach out to different people, and the customer slash prospect that we will be leveraging for the sake of this demo, his name is Sean Michaels. It's a residential project that we will be sharing for the demonstration purposes. And then we'll walk through the whole pre-production, production, and post-production stages. And as I showcase that, I'll talk about analytics, field operations, project management, and then I'll showcase to you some of the invoices and the way the accounting works with Bold Build is that it integrates with lots of accounting systems that are out there. So we already have integration with QuickBooks. We already have integration with Dynamics Business Central. We can integrate with Dynamics AX, App, JD Edwards. We have a REST architecture for Bold Build. So it's very easy for us to integrate with the accounting systems that are out there. And one more slide before I jump into the demo. So these are the main themes of Bold Build as an application. What we have tried to do is to make it role-based. So the individual who is accessing a module could just focus on what's important for them. That role piece is difficult to demonstrate because you're talking about so many people with wearing different hats, but I'll try to showcase that. Then we have tried to automate a lot of these steps and processes. For example, proposal generation is a single click. You will see how easy we have made the whole estimation process. You will see that there are reminders and emails that automatically get sent out. So we have tried to streamline the workflows throughout the application. And then what we have done is that we have modularized it so that you could start with what you need to get that specific task done that you're working on. And hopefully, as you see the demo, you'll be able to relate to this as well. Now, instead of doing an end-to-end flow, I'll be showcasing to you bits and pieces and modules within each app that we have within Bold Build, but I'll be able to paint a story from the start point all the way to the end. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And with that, I'm going to go right into the demonstration. Any questions so far for me, Nick?
None yet. We're good to go.
Perfect. So I'm going to start with the marketing piece. In here, you can see that I have the marketing module. And within the marketing module, I've opened up a customer journey to showcase this to you. So Board Roofing Company reaches out to, for the sake of this demo, 20 odd contacts. Let me just turn off my video here. 20 odd contacts, and they send out an email. So you can see that there's this journey. So if you are a marketer or if you're a roofing business owner, know that this marketing module is part of the offering. And you can see that this is the email that is sent out. If I just click on that invite email, it will show you the email that was sent out to these 20 people within our database. So you can see I just reached out to them and I told them that we are the best roofing company. We can build a roof that keeps you safe, as if others cannot, but I thought that people would at least submit to this. So it goes to 20 people, and the one that we will be leveraging for this demo is Shawn Michaels, like I said. So Shawn Michaels clicked on this submit to connect button, and I can show you. Like if I click on this in there, then what happens is that this opens up. So I'll show it to you in his inbox as well. So just very quickly here, for example, you can see that this is the email that Shawn Michaels received in his inbox, right? And then he clicked on this button because he wants to connect. Then what happens is that we track all of this. We track the clicks, we track the fact that if I go into the insights here, so you can see that out of these 20 people, 13 were blocked, it was delivered to 12 people. It shows me that there's one click, which is for Shawn Michaels for the sake of this demonstration. So I'll be able to grab Shawn Michaels from it, and then I can track the visits and submissions. But if I go back to my journey, you can see that what happens is that the system automatically sets up a follow-up call. And essentially what we are doing is that your marketer is working with your back office guy so that they could call Shawn Michaels and say, hey, you were interested in our services. We would like to schedule an on-site visit. So the system automatically schedules this phone call and sends a thank you email as well. So if I go here onto the phone calls, you will see that I have a phone call scheduled for Shawn Michaels. So for example, if I go in here, you can see that this is the phone call where this has been scheduled and our back office guy is being asked to call Shawn Michaels. Now let's say as this person talks to Shawn Michaels, they want to schedule an on-site visit. So one of the challenges that we have within the roofing industry is just scheduling an appointment because you want to have your estimator. Let's say our estimator in this case is Mahmoud. And I want the back office guy to schedule a meeting with Shawn Michaels at the time that works for Shawn Michaels and Mahmoud. So they need access to the calendars. So we have this calendaring app that integrates. What will happen is that the back office person will just click on this new event. It will just say on-site visit and estimation. Now, because these systems are integrated, so I should be able to find Shawn Michaels in here. Obviously, he's external, so you see this Hotmail email, and then I can have Mahmoud, who is my estimator, kind of go out. And now you see here, it's telling me about the calendar details. So it's already telling me what time is available for everyone. So I'm scheduling for today, and I say, okay, I want to pick this time. And this is one of the challenges that we have in the industry. So if I just click on the send button now, and invite has been sent, and a meeting has been scheduled with Shawn Michaels based on just this. So now what will happen is that I'll go on and the marketing piece is done. We had a campaign, we had a responder, we had the back office guy reach out, call them. By the way, it also integrates with telephony systems. So you can see in here, I can click on this phone call and it will make the call. And right on that call, the back office person was able to establish a meeting, and based on that meeting, we'll have the estimator go out. So we're going to transition from marketing onto the sales section here. Do we have any questions so far, Nick, before I transition?
None as of yet. We're good to go.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do now is you see this is the marketing app. So Nick is going to be our salesperson. So I'm going to showcase to you his view. So this is what Nick sees in his system. So you can see it's called sales. And you will see in here that I have made progress on this, but I have all the details that were captured through Shawn. So you can see that a phone call was made. And Shawn Michaels is an homeowner. I have his home phone number. I have his mobile phone number. I have his address information, residential. I can add more things in here, but what happens in this case is, like I shared with you, we have scheduled an on-site visit. So if I go on to the next stage in here, which is the develop, the expectation we have is that somebody from our team will go on this on-site visit. It is on Mahmoud's calendar. So he's supposed to go out and he's supposed to do estimates. But before he goes out, I want to just share with you. So on this record, we know that Shawn Michaels lives in 406 West Street. And I'll just open it up to show you his complete address. So he is in Delaware, and this is the zip code for this location. So we have the address captured based on the phone call that was made. And then if we go into our timeline again, you see that there's a visit that is scheduled as well. So next thing that happens is that Nick is just waiting for Mahmoud to go out and do the visit and do the estimation. So like I said, I have the field activity being handled right now by through the videos that I have created. So I'm going to show you how Mahmoud uses our mobile app to go and conduct this on-site visit and do the estimation. So this is where the process starts. You can see that Mahmoud can see that there's an on-site visit and estimate. So he sees it on his iPad app. And I'm going to play this video here. So based on this, he's just going to click on create estimate because he is on site there. And you can see that there's an integration. So right now it picks up that it is the roof install Shawn Michaels project. He's going to quickly select the site that he's visiting because there could be multiple houses that Shawn Michaels has. So he sets the site, he says the service type. If Shawn Michaels wants, he can put in, Mahmoud wants, he can put in some comments. So project description is saying it's the roof repair / installation. Your iPad keyboard will pop up and you can just type it right in there. When he is done, he's just going to click on this next button and he's going to go to the next screen. So it's a flow, right? And this is where the estimation starts. And you can see in here that we have all types of estimations. But what I'm going to do is a very simple roofing estimate. So we are going to do wood shingles. It's 5,000 square feet. And you can see the price is $4 per square feet. So I add that and you can see it became into remove. I could quickly, as an estimator, go into equipment that I need. I'm not going to do that for the sake of this. Then I go to labor. And in here, I just say, okay, I will be using a skilled laborer for this. And I'm just going to use this one. And I'll go to say I need 200 hours for this. And I just click on add. So I've added my material, I've added my labor. If I wanted, I could have added a service. I could also bring in a subcontractor in here. Plus I have miscellaneous charges like mobile, truck, drive, all that stuff. But with that, for now, I say, okay, this is good. I have 2 items and I click next. And then I want to take some photos. And Mahmoud is very hardworking. He is taking photos at night and doing the site visit at night. So I'm going to keep this photo here. I'll click on this keep photo and you see that the photos are being taken. So I'll just take up to 3 photos here. This is the second one. I say keep photo. It's very easy. Just click on add photo button. And then you take a photo by just tabbing onto your iPad. And then if you like the photo, you keep it. I like these 3 photographs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on next here. And now it is showing me a summary of what I have done. I have these 3 photos, I have these 2 products, and I have, based on the pricing, 34,000 as the total estimate. And I hit this create button. As soon as I hit the create button, what's happening is that it is creating an estimate for me. Now this estimate is being created in the backend for Nick as well to review. And a document will be generated as well that I can send over as part of this as well. So let's give it a second here. Sorry.
And Ty, while we wait for this, we did have a question come in that I attempted to answer, but maybe you can shed more light. The question is, how do you log incoming calls that were not from a marketing campaign?
Yeah. So the piece that I showed you was the marketing module. So if it's coming in through marketing module, you have the email. If an incoming call comes in through telephony integration, As soon as a call comes in, we have three kind of flows that we have in there. If it's a match based on the phone number, it pops open that record if that record is in your system. If it's a match with multiple, because you could have duplicates in your system, then it pops open all of them and it asks you which one are you talking to. So let's say if I have two Shawn Michaels, I might say on the call, hey, are you in Delaware or are you in San Diego? And based on that, I'll be able to pick the right one. And then third flow is that the first call is the first time you're receiving a phone call. So right from that phone call, you will be able to click a button that says create an appointment. And you will be able to then leverage that scheduler that I was showing you to schedule that meeting and have your estimator go on site. If it is a call for a service request like a repair, and I'll show that towards the end of this demo, then you can have your dispatcher, you can create a work order right from the phone call as well, based on the incident type. Let's say it's a chimney leak or it's a roof repair. You click a button, just one click, you'll be able to create a work order, and then your dispatcher can assign it to one of your field folks who can go out there. And I'll show that to you in a demo as well. So I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So here I am. The process that we have here is that I want to send this back to Nick rather than to the customer for him to sign. You could have a process where you're sending it to the customer and the customer is signing it. It's the flow. You can configure it in BuildFitters. What I want to do is I want to send it back to Nick, who is my primary salesperson on this. And I want him to validate my estimate and my proposal before he sends it to the customer. So I just put myself and Nick in here. And I just hit generate so that a proposal could be generated. So you can see a proposal is generated on the right. And I'm putting in a quick message for Nick. I'm saying that this is the estimate that I have produced based on my visit here. Please review it. And then Nick can send it back to Shawn Michaels, because Nick is the sales rep who had the call with Shawn Michaels that I'll be sending my estimator out. And I'll show you how we have that again automated through DocuSign for electronic signatures. But as soon as I'm done typing here, I click the send button and my estimate will be sent out based on that. So just bear with me for a second. So excuse me for this autocorrect. It changed DocuSign to focusing, but what I'm asking is send it to him through DocuSign if you like it. So I'm going to click on the send button here. And as soon as I click on the send button, an email will be sent out for him to review. And then that is kind of the end of my estimator being on site. And that was my demo number one. I want to show you a few things. So this is the email that Nick receives. So you can see this is the estimate for Sean's roof for your approval, Nick. Send it to him through focusing, which was an autocorrect if you like it. And I have a proposal in here. But I don't want to show you this proposal in here, although you saw that it was generated on a single click. It just said generate and a proposal was generated. What I want to show you is what does Nick see back in the office. If I bring in that one screen in here, where we were on the sales side. So first of all, Nick can see the photos that Mahmoud took as he was estimating. So these were the 3 photos that were taken on the app, but I can see it on the back end as well. So nice and easy. But the other thing that happened was that a bid was generated. So you see 34,000, if you recall, in Mahmoud's estimation app, he had 34,000. But Nick also sees the cost. So he sees that based on the labor and the material, it's 23,192, which is the cost for this. So he sees that as well. Plus what Nick sees is he sees this proposal that was generated. So if I open this based on the email that Nick has received, on a single click, a nicely formatted templatized proposal gets generated that is ready for Nick to review. And if he likes it, he can send it to Shawn Michaels for electronic signature. So Nick can come in here and Nick can review it. And this is like templatized, you can change it. But one thing that I want to highlight here is you will see that again, 14,000 plus 20,000. So those of you who are good at math can see that it is 34,000. Others can think of it as magic, but it looks nice, right? Everything is in there in the proposal. Then you have scope of work coming in here. Your inclusions are here, your exclusions are here. Now, where is this information coming from? This is all templatized in our system. So when I went to the details, I said that this is roofing. So you have a scope of work, inclusions, exclusions. So Nick, as a back-end sales rep, validates everything. He says, okay, the estimate was completed, and this is a new facility, and he goes to the next stage. Now he has to decide whether he is good to propose it to this customer, or if he wants to do review something or have a call with them, or whatever he wants to do here. But for the sake of this, I'm going to just say that proposal has been generated and Nick wants to send it out. Now, Nick doesn't have to open up his email, send it out. All he needs to do is he says send with DocuSign. And as soon as he says get signature, DocuSign window will open up. It asks, okay, which document? I'm saying Shawn Michaels' proposal. I say this one, open DocuSign. And it is going to open up DocuSign. It will upload this document in there. It will create the whole envelope. Shawn Michaels' email, which is Hotmail email that I'm using for this, is going to be up there as well. And then the whole thing is ready to be sent out through this process. So it takes a little bit of a time because it is doing all the things integrated so that they don't need to be done manually. But you will see that as this DocuSign opens up, that proposal is already in there. Shawn Michaels is already in here. All Nick needs to do is to click next, and he can just put in the signature block and just send it out. So this is how simple we have made the whole estimation and sales process. Now, obviously, we're going to go with the assumption that we sent it, Shawn Michaels signed it. Now, as soon as Shawn Michaels signs it, it automatically moves from propose to close. So I don't have to click this next stage button, but because I don't want to show you the whole process of sending it and signing it, I'll just say, okay, I go to the next stage. And that completes our sales process. Now we have the contract signed and we are ready to go into pre-production where we can start discussing about who is going to provide me what shingles. And I want to showcase some of the other technology like document management, some of the other benefits that we talked about. Any questions for me, Nick, before I transition to pre-production?
Not for you, but I do have a question I would like to ask the audience, just about their current processes around estimating. We would love to hear your feedback to see what you guys are currently using and kind of see if there's any way or any signs that maybe our estimation piece is a little bit easier and something you would want to explore. So would love to hear your feedback on what you guys are currently using, whether it be Excel, Xactimate, ProS, AccuBid. There's a lot out there, so we couldn't list all of them. So the other category is there as well. All right, so looks like we got some people using Excel. So there's that, and some people using Xactimate. We'll leave this poll open for just another couple seconds here. All right, some people are filling out other as well. And I am going to close this up. Thank you guys for your feedback. Appreciate it. Back over to you.
Thank you. Nick, you can see my screen and you see project management now?
Yes.
Awesome. So just to wrap up quickly, we sent out a campaign. Shawn Michael raised his hand. My back office guy leveraged the scheduling module, scheduled the estimator. Estimator went out there, used that nice simple app on the iPad, did the whole estimate, created the proposal. Nick at the back office saw what the estimator had done. He reviewed it, liked it, sent it via DocuSign. Shawn Michael signed it. Now we are over to the project management app because the project has been signed. And this flow is more like roof installation. So it's a new project that we are handling. And I'll show you the service piece later. So in pre-production, what happens is that as soon as Shawn Michael signs it and we close that opportunity, everything gets copied over automatically. So for example, you see in here roof install, the opportunity number comes over, bidding to end user is Shawn Michaels in this case, and it brings in all these details that I have. But more importantly, what it does is it brings in my estimate. So you see 34,000 estimate is in here, 22,792. Whatever scope of work, inclusion, exclusions I have kind of finalized, and exactly the site is all in here. Now, there are some other aspects that I want to showcase because this is where that inter-team collaboration starts. Now, first of all, I want to start working on the procurement piece. Okay, so I go on the procurement and say, okay, what do I need for executing this project successfully? I need the only material for the simplicity of this demo was foot shingles. So I can go in here and I have an amazing module within BoldBuild that allows you to select your preferred vendor who would give you this equipment. I won't go into the demo of that in detail, but this is what it is here, open vendor pre-qualification app. And based on that, you just select the vendor that you want to provide you pricing for wood shingles. So if I go into my vendor list, you will see I chose Bechtel for this one. So I can look at it, Bechtel is here. And if I look at it from the material standpoint, you will be able to see the fact that it is providing me wood shingles and 17,500 is the cost for that. If I had multiple vendors, I could look at it by vendor, by service, by material, by equipment, whatever you may have it there. And here I can get multiple bids for it as well, and I can just go into a contract with one of them. So if you go back to the vendor, you see it says contracted because I selected Bechtel as my provider for these wood shingles that I'll be using. And the other important thing is I put together my team. And these roles are all templatized. I can put in foreman, superintendent, technicians, all of that. I can also put in Shawn Michaels as a stakeholder, so he's the owner. You can see him in here as well. So all of that detail is captured in the system too. Now, the other piece I want to show you is the whole document management piece. Document management is huge. Why? You have insurance documents that you want to save, and you want those to be easily accessible throughout the course of this project. So within BoldBuild, we have this module that allows you to save all these documents. And you can have all these folders templatized and created. So for example, you see I have an insurance folder. All the insurance documents would go in here. All the documents that BoldBuild generates automatically, like the proposal, they are also saved automatically in the right folder. So you don't have to go search for it. If you are dealing with RFIs and submittals, the RFIs and submittals are automatically generated in the system and they live in the right folders as well. So each one of these is a folder. If you have shop drawing, if you have other additional information that you have, all of that can stay in here. It's just a matter of clicking it, dragging and dropping it, or uploading it in here. And all of this is version controlled, so you can have changes to it. The advantage is, and it's a big pain point in the industry, you won't have 5 versions of the same document. You would have one consolidated place within BoldBuild where you're storing all of these documents. So it kind of eliminates that visibility for everybody into the project. Then the second piece is collaboration. Because you have a team here, you want to be able to communicate. So I have the estimator as Mahmoud. I have Nick. Now myself, I'm acting as a project manager on this project. So you can hit this collaborate button. And as soon as you do that, you see I have Teams integration. So I have it open here. I'm going to just bring it up in here. And you can see that the whole project I have, it is kind of already within my teams. So I can start conversation here. Let's say if I go to the team, if I go to procurement, I can start asking Nick that I'm working at Nick. I want you to, so I tag Nick and I say, I am picking Bechtel for material. So I can quickly collaborate. Nick can comment back on this and say, oh, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with that, whatever he wants to put in here. But the whole BoldBuild piece now is within Teams to facilitate with the collaboration across that. So that is another piece that is huge from the collaboration standpoint. We talked about the pain point. Nick tells me it sounds good. Thank you, Nick. So we can collaborate effectively and we can start working on this. And the next thing I want to show you is the schedule, but I'll go into the schedule board once I get to the project stage. So what happens here is that in pre-production, you might have additional visits, you might have additional tasks. Yes, you have a scheduler, you can go in here and then you can create tasks that you want to do as part of pre-production. I will cover this module on the project execution side, but if I go into the contract in here, once I feel comfortable, I just say I want to generate a project for this. So I'm in pre-production, and from there I go into production. And I've already done that, of course, for this demo. So you can see that from this pre-production stage, I generated a contract, and then I generated this project. So now what I'm doing is I'm shifting from pre-construction, or we call it pre-construction to keep it generic, pre-production stage onto the project stage. So I'm going to click on this. And now I end up on my actual project where I'm going to go through the execution of this. So you see the screens look very familiar, same. And that is on purpose. That is so that you don't have to be trained twice, because in some of the organizations, the same person is leading through pre-production and production. But what I want to focus on now is I want to click on this schedule, and I want to showcase to you as to what happens now. So I have this very nice and easy to use project scheduler. If you want to create new task, all you do is you click new, and it adds a task in here. I can say this is a test. I can put in the timeline for this. So for example, you can see I can go and I can say this is a 5-day task. It automatically calculates all of those. I can add in a resource as to who I want assigned in here. And what happens is that these tasks are automatically being assigned to the team that I had. So I showed you that there was a team section where I specify the people who are working on this project. So I can select any of them and I can assign them this. I can move it up and down. It's nice and easy. So this is my complete project plan for executing this roof installation. What I want to showcase to you next is I want to showcase to you what the experience is like for the project manager as the project manager works with the person on the field who will actually execute on this project. So the one that I'm going to use is install shingles, and I've assigned it to myself, who is the laborer here. So let me just go back to my video and show you the second video on the task execution. So give me just 1 second here. All right. So this you can see, this is the same project plan that I showed you there. I'm just kind of minimizing some of these things so that you could focus more on the task. So you can see in here, I have this task of installing shingles, and I'm going to assign it to myself, which is what you saw in that previous screen. And you see I have 4 hours of the actual time already done on this, and I have 32 hours estimated. And the task is 12% complete right now. So what I want to showcase to you is in real time, what's the experience for Tayyab on the field when you start working on installing shingles, and what is it like? So this is our mobile app that the field person would be using. You see it shows install shingles as a task. I click on that, and the first thing that a lot of you ask for is you have this nice camera icon on the top. I can click on that and I can take as many pictures. So again, I'm lazy. I'm not at the job site. I'm just taking these photos in my office for the sake of this demonstration. So I take all of these photos and I can, if these are receipts, I can associate it with the PO that you saw. I chose Bechtel as my provider for wood shingles, and I can hit OK there. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to put in the time. So I go in here, it's very easy. You see, I click on start time, I click on end time, and then I specify that, okay, I worked on this for 9 hours, 9 to 6. So it shows me 9 hours, I hit create. It takes a little bit of time, it saves that information, and a new task service has been added. Okay. Now what I want to show you that I have done 9 hours and it's still in progress. I'm going to showcase to you what happens for the backend project manager. So I say this 9 hours have been completed for the day, but I still not clicked this checkbox to complete the task. Now let me go back to the proposal, and you saw that it was 12% before and 4 hours, and now it has changed to 13 hours here and 41% on installed shingles. So it kind of added those 9 hours in there. It enhanced the progress on that. And I know that I still have work to be done in here. So I'm going to show you again. I refresh in here. It refreshes this. I'm going to go to install shingles again as a task. And I'm there for the second day. And I want to show you how I can quickly complete that task. So I click on that. And this time around, I'll just click on plus again. So I could put in my time. And I start early at say 7 a.m. And I want to end this task at, I don't know, 11 p.m. or something like that. And I hit OK here. And I hit create again. So I hit OK. Now it's showing me both of these. I can mark both of these as completed. But what I'm going to do this time is, in addition to marking this one service activity as complete, I'm going to hit this check off. And I'm going to say this whole activity of installing shingles is complete. So as soon as I do that and I hit OK in here, the task is gone from my list because the task is not open. And if I refresh my project plan, you see now it's 100% done. You see how it is tracking? It was a 32-hour estimated, and it's green because I did it in less time. You see here, if I did it in more time, it would be 100% red. So that is kind of showcasing to you that if I complete a task, which I go over, then although it's showing me 100%, it is keeping it as red, but this one, it is keeping it as green because I did it under budget. budgeted time at least. So this is the second piece that I wanted to showcase, and kind of the whole thing applies to the details that you can imagine in here. So I'm going to now minimize this project plan. So I showed you how I assigned very easy to use project scheduler, assign a task. They have a very nice and easy app to use. We have put in so much effort in just the user experience. There's so many different apps, but it's so difficult to just add in their time. But you see a nice little task that has been assigned to you. You put in your time and you can mark the service as completed, or you can say I'm done with the whole task, and it reflects everything in real time in here. Any questions for me, Nick?
Yeah, this one kind of goes back to the estimation piece and the proposal generation. There's a question that came in as far as, can the photos be uploaded automatically to those proposals?
Absolutely. The proposal that I generated will have the photos that the estimator took embedded in there. Now there's a setting we have. You can mark a photo as internal or external. If you mark a photo that you take as internal, it won't be in the proposal. But right now that functionality is already there. If you mark it as external, the photo becomes part of your proposal.
Got it. And then another question came in about that app that you just showed, the field app. Is there a cost associated with that app?
No, that app in itself is free. It's a mobile app anybody can download who is using BoldBuild, and they can start using that app.
Perfect.
No additional cost. Okay. What I want to showcase to you is, so we had Thayab, the laborer, go in and work on this install shingles application. So what I want to do is I want to show you this progress tracking. So what happens is that every time time is inputted into this, you can see that time in here along with the price and the cost. So for example, let me come in here. I'll filter it based on the most recent activity. So I go newest to oldest. And you see these are the two tasks, or 2 times the time was logged, 9 hours and 16 hours. And it is telling me the estimated cost that I have as well as the price for this. So I can easily see what my price is, and I can use this information for invoicing. So our system has this invoicing module. I can now come and I can generate an invoice for the progress that we have made on these tasks. And then we can send that invoice over. So the 16 and 9 hours, I can have this total reflect in my invoice. I can go in here, I can click on plus new invoice, and it will bring in that time that has not been billed, and I can send it to the customer. Similarly, I have my PO in here. So if you saw that I use Bechtel and I have 17,500, I can track the material I receive, and I have material tracking against this project showing me that I had 5,000 square feet of wood shingles that I needed. I ordered this. This is the estimated blue. I ordered 5,000. I have not received all of them. I've received 2,998, and I've just used 2. So again, this is just for the sake of demo, but since I'm done with the task, I should have used all of them. But based on this, you can have the receipts. You remember I took those photos, and you can use that for your bill that you generate for the customer and the invoice that you would receive from your material provider as well. So that kind of is what I wanted to cover on the project execution side of things. Before I move on to the service side, I just want to share quickly here that we also have obviously a complete insights module. So we have dashboards, amazing dashboard. So I can, for example, go in here into my project management dashboard, and I can see at any given point in time as an executive how the projects are being executed. So it is telling me for all these 40 projects against 25 customers, what's the total revenue, what's the actual cost against it, what the work is being done. And I can very easily, quickly filter down from here. So for example, we are working on Shawn Michaels, right? So I can say, okay, show me a roof install project for Shawn Michaels. I click on that, and now it's only showing me Shawn Michaels in here. So it's telling me that same information, revenue was this much, total actual cost for us is this, actual work that has been done is this much. I can go down in here and I can see all the details in here at the line level. So I can even see, okay, this is the project. I can see the time that has been put in against this, the purchase order against it. So all the information that you need as a project manager is available, and you have different views. So I can look at it by stage. I can look at it from project manager standpoint, from the customer standpoint, change the timeline. All that information is there, but this is not just internal. We have a portal as well that your contractors can use, and I can click on subcontractor in here. Your subcontractors will be able to go in, and you can track their progress as well if you have some. But this project, I didn't have any subcontractor, but I have Bechtel providing some services on some of the other projects, so I see them in here as well. So we have this whole dashboarding module kind of already part of the Bold Build offering, which is huge for your executives because it gives you an oversight of all the projects that you have within your organization. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover on the project execution. Now, the last thing I want to showcase to you is the field service module, because we know that a lot of you have to deal with lots of requests like leakages and repairs and so on and so forth. So I'm going to move on to that, Nick, unless you have any. Okay, it looks like Nick has no
questions. Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button.
No worries, perfect. So here, this is the field service module, as you can see up in here. And this is probably going to be your dispatcher who is using it. So what happens is that I open up, say, Shawn Michaels in my system. And it's very easy to open up Shawn Michaels. So that's if I go in here and I search for Shawn Michaels. It is going to find Shawn Michaels, and you will see that I have multiple incident requests that have come in. So one time you said chimney leak, leaky roof. Bold roofing is not really doing an amazing job, so Shawn has some issues here. Repair wood shingle roof and all of these, right? And what this is, it's just an incident. So somebody asked a question earlier where they were saying, what if someone calls in and not through your marketing module? So this is exactly what happened. Somebody called in. So Shawn Michaels called in and said, hey, I need to do a repair work on my roof that you guys installed. A person received the call through integration. It pulled up Shawn Michaels' record because Shawn Michaels is already in the system. And they just discovered that, yeah, we need to have somebody go. So I can click on this button and I can convert it to work order. Now I already have a work order, so I won't do it. I'll show it to you, but you see how it shows you a work order for this case already exists. What I'll do instead is I'll show you work orders in the system. So I click on this and you see I have multiple work orders here in the system, and you can see that it is showing me the whole schedule for all of them. So it tells me this is unscheduled. So I need to schedule this 293 work order for Shawn Michaels if I want to dispatch someone for roof repair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this schedule board. So I have it open already in here. So this is my schedule board, and I go to my unscheduled work orders in here, and I click on this first one. And you see how it's really cool. It tells me on the map where Shawn Michaels' site location is. And I can pick from these 4 technicians that I have, anyone, so that I could assign it to them. So I pick myself, and I'm picking myself because then I can show you how the field guy will actually be able to go and work on this. So I say, okay, I want to book this guy. So I'll book him. For this, it's going to create a booking for this work order. And I have complete capability in this system. It's very, very extensive. I can have the schedules for these guys. I can have their drive time, their start location, their end location. All of those details I can have in the system. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit in here to show you. So for example, this is the new work order that has been scheduled. So I have here an example, but I just scheduled one in here, so I'm going to refresh this. Let's see if I can see it if I log in. So I'll have a work order scheduled, and this on my calendar, it looks like this. I was expecting it to see it here, but maybe I don't have the location set correct because I have a lot of drive time in here. Maybe a few days of drive time because I'm moving from one state to the other state. But then this person will start working on it. So now Tayyab, as person who does the repair work, has his, again, mobile app. And he sees on the mobile app that I have been booked on this activity. So I'm going to show you his perspective again through a video as to how you'll go about conducting this repair activity at Shawn Michaels' house. So I'm going to minimize this, go back to my slide deck into my demo number 3 here. Yeah, perfect. So here you can see, I see the work order. I can see that I can go into booking status, I can say I'm traveling as soon as I start traveling, so it could calculate that time. I can also, so you see booking status is traveling, but I'm going to just put it as in progress for now. And this is the application that I will use for the whole detail. On the top, I have my different subsections. What I'm going to do is, as part of this incident type, I will be able to record the travel time. But what I want to do first is I want to go into related and I want to open up this work order service tasks, because I have 3 tasks that I have for any roof repair. So I'm going to mark all of these as complete. I start with assess roof condition. I go in here and I say, okay, I'm done with this task. I've assessed it 100%. It's giving me an error because I have to fill in one more field. So let me quickly showcase to you how that is done. And I say that, okay, I did that and I have been able to complete this. So I'll say the result is passed for the inspection. And I can put in the time that I spent on this one task within this whole process of fixing this roof. So I'm done with the first one. I'm now going to click back and going to go to the second task, which is the actual repair that I have to make. So I click on that. And by the way, you can also take photos as you're doing this repair. So I'm going to click on the repair task. I'll come in here and I'll again say the time that actually I spent was 1 hour, which was estimated as well. I'll put in my description as the repair is complete, and I'll mark it as 100% complete in here as well. So I put in 100 and I save this. So as I save this, you will see that if I go back to my tasks now, it will show me that this is 100% done. And the last one is just to clean up the repair area. So I'm just going to say, I'll say, yeah, it took me 30 minutes to do that as well. I just hit save. I didn't put in the percentage complete. But if I go back, now I'm done with the 3 tasks. Now what I can do is I can go back to my work order and I can say, okay, I have completed this. So I click on this general tab again, and I scroll down again to where I have booking status, and I change it to completed. But one thing I forgot, what I forgot was I did not go in and say that I've used the material I had and the time that I had for the actual service. So what I'll do is I'll go back in here in the related, and then now I'll go to work order services. So I click on that, and it tells me that you're doing a repair service. I'm going to discard these changes. And then here I go and I say estimation was 1 hour, but what is the line status? So I say I've used, I change it to use, and I say, okay, yeah, this is 1 hour. Why did I do that? I do that because now my system will automatically know what to invoice this customer. So with that, it tells me that you had $95 per hour. So you've used 1 hour, so it should be $95. I save it. And now I'll go back to the work order and I'll say I'm done with this work order. So I'll mark it as complete. So I come in here and I say that my work order has been completed. So I click on this and I save this. So now my expectation obviously is that if I go back into, again, the dispatcher should be able to see that I'm done. And as a field person, I should be able to go back to my calendar and I'll have the next work order in line, and I can just go and start working on that next work order. So again, a very nice, easy to use application with a nice calendar view that I can use for getting my work done. So I wanted to showcase this to you, but again, like I showed you invoice for the project piece, I want to show you that as I'm working here, as soon as I come to a work order and I change the status to posted, by default it is completed when the field person completes it. But at the back office, I change it to posted, the system automatically generates an invoice. So if I go in here, it will generate an invoice, and the invoice will have all the details of the line items and or whatever you can think of here. So for example, you can see here I have the invoice, it's the repair material as well as the time. So you can see $95, 190. It's adding tax in here as well, so it's showing $98. All of those details can then be sent out. So this was the field repair demo, and that kind of concludes the demos that I wanted to showcase to you. So I want to really quickly summarize what we covered. So we covered the sales piece, then we went to the pre-production. In the pre-production, I showed you how easily I can manage procurement and I can do RFI submittals. Then I went into project execution, and hopefully you were able to take away from that the ease of that project scheduler and how easily the person was able to put in their time against the tasks I had. And then I showed you the field service piece, which is kind of more of a repair request. And you have a whole nice dispatcher with the map, and you can dispatch people and they can start working on those tasks. So why would you use this? These are the benefits that you can gain. We can help you save around 2.5 million per year on time on tasks alone, and the management and the smoothness of execution that you saw. Essentially, what I showed you today is end-to-end your business, all the way to invoice. The only piece that I didn't show is the invoices then sent to your accounting system through integration. And like I said, we already have integrations with different accounting systems that we can demo you separately. We can eliminate rework because we have effective collaboration, communication, and document management, as well as execution management. And plus, the most important thing is you have those dashboards. At any given point in time, in real time, you can see the progress that you have made. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Nick, to close it up.
Alrighty, thank you so much for taking us through that. I'm going to turn my camera back on so you guys can see me talking at you. Did have a question come through for you, Tayyab, as well. Question is there functionality around permitting and selection acknowledgements?
So I understand that there are different modules that we can enable within this. So we have to make it simple. So as long as that balance is right, we can absolutely have those functionalities turned on as well.
Great. And then there was another question about licensing, which I will get to just in a minute. I know we are running close to time, but as far as next steps, if you guys did find some value in what you saw, even just if it's little pieces, we'd love to set up a free trial for you. So that way you can get your hands on it and see how it will work for your company. And it is a free 2-week trial. And then if it's something that you do think you can adopt into your current organization, we can set up a quick design and discovery to make sure it is a seamless transition into it and get you up and running on Bold Build. If you wouldn't mind going to the next slide, I think that's where we have our licensing.
Sure.
Let's see. Yes. So one question that did come in was about licensing. This is kind of the base we use for licensing. Now this is for access to the entire Bold Build solution. However, to address the question that came in, there are different licensing models based on what you're actually using. So a project manager will have a different license than someone that's in the field. And the price differs between those two as well. And we can have a discussion around that with you after the call, just because we are short on time. And then another question that came in was, can the program be customized at all, such as adding additional objects and fields to the database? And answer is yes, 100%. This is a platform that we like to design to your specific needs. We have our out of the box, but every customer does have a little bit different processes and flows that we work with you to design for you to make sure it's a fit.
Yeah, I just want to add to what you said, Nick. This pricing that you see already takes that into consideration. It's very easy to add those things in. So we kind of have the configuration and setup included in the pricing that we have. So we, as part of our implementation, will take care of that.
Yep, perfect. And then I don't know, do we have one more slide on this? I think we have our contact questions, which I've answered those. But yes, please let us know if you are interested. We'd love to get in touch with you again. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll reach out to you with the recording so that way you can review it again or share it with colleagues. And otherwise, have a great day. Hopefully you guys found value and reach out to us for a demo. We'll treat you to it. Thank you, everybody.